Hello, everyone. I am Shafna, and welcome back to another episode of the RARO podcast, where we bring inspiring entrepreneurs and talk about their ups and downs while starting their business and which can help you when you start your own business and grow. So, today I've got with me Dr. Nazreen Midlaj, a dedicated entrepreneur who is into business solutions and education and is also the CEO and the director of TIIB Business School, Dubai Knowledge Park. So let's know more about her journey and get insights from her. Since you have been into the education industry for more than like 15 years, you'll be having quite an experience on that. And recently you have started a business school of your own, right? So I have heard that this is a very unique idea. So I just wanted to know, like, why did you choose this? Like, why did it be so different? Can you please let me know?
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. Yes, we have started something up here in the Dubai Knowledge Park, and why is it unique? Because it is backed by very supportive, powerful entrepreneurial network. So whether it is the investors, whether it is the mentors, whether it is the people who are going to guide this initiative, all of them are entrepreneurs doing millions and billions of turnovers business. So hence, to be a part of something like that is a huge privilege for me. How is this business school unique? We know that there are a lot of business schools providing theoretical knowledge when it comes to MBA or even BBA, different degrees. While that is good, we have to change according to the new age, right? What is required now, according to my experience, I've been in Kerala for last 2 years, and in Kerala, what I've noticed, although we are not only taking students from Kerala, but referring to the Kerala context, lot of students come up with brilliant ideas. I have an investment company where students come and pitch their ideas for investment, and all they need is correct guidance in terms of where to start, how to start, what to do, and how to get the funds, how to get the ball rolling, a lot of things. So while they have a great idea, they really don't know anything about the execution part or how to get it done. So here at our business school in Dubai, we are welcoming and opening the doors to everyone in the world, anyone in the world who wants to learn more about business. They will have a 2-year course. It's a pathway program. It's a higher national diploma in entrepreneurship and business. But what you get extra or additional alongside that is a startup accelerator program where these students will get hands-on experience from industry leaders. CEOs will come and have their sessions directly. Startup founders will have come do mentoring sessions for these students. We have also tied up with many companies for providing paid internship for these students of around 1,000 dirhams per month while they do our course. Now, why we are providing that is a student, while learning theory, also need to understand how does that environment look in real life, right? Like when you put yourself in that environment, that's when you actually see and understand how do you thrive and grow in such an environment. What is problem solving skills? What is critical thinking? What does it mean to be a risk taker? These are all qualities that an entrepreneur should have, and so these qualities are enhanced when you are in such an environment. So these are the kind of exposure and experience that we are giving in our academy.
That's nice to hear about your academy and the unique features on that. And I just wanted to ask, like, why UAE? Or out of all other countries or out of all other places, why did you choose UAE specifically?
Let me actually put that question back to you, Shafna. I know that your consulting firm, your business solutions company is also in UAE. Why UAE for you?
So we all know that UAE has always been the best place for anyone looking to start a business. So even if it's the government, they have made all the process smooth and so hassle free. And it's always, when we look at Dubai, it has a diverse market and there are tons of opportunities. It just makes sense for us to be a solution provider in the UAE, like where we can help people with the licensing and PRO services and everything. So I think UAE is the best market for this one, or we can help no people.
Yes. Very rightly said, and partly that's the reason why we also aimed at starting something like this in Dubai. See, Dubai is a thriving entrepreneurship and business hub. Dubai has constantly been ranked as a number one in promoting entrepreneurship by the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor for several years now. Dubai also provides a very favorable environment for the startup ecosystem. Most of UAE's, like around 89% of UAE's startups are located in Dubai. UAE has been a regional leader in attracting venture capitalist investments, if you check last year's data. Now, all of this is enough reasons, I believe, for us to start up a business school in a place like Dubai. Where else do you get the best education about businesses and entrepreneurship other than a country which is so inclusive about entrepreneurial growth?
I completely agree on that because Dubai, I know it's very dynamic and the diverse opportunities we have. So, yeah, I agree on that. The next thing I wanted to ask you is that as a woman entrepreneur, I just wanted to know like, if I am being a woman entrepreneur, what do you have a piece of advice for me? Like the mindset I should have? What do you have to say on that?
All right. So, first of all, let me tell that entrepreneurship does not have gender. But here, for the audience to understand that we are very specifically talking about maybe the mindsets that women need to have in that context. I feel that a lot of people talk about what kind of skill sets you need to
Yeah.
succeed and how do you become a leader, etc. Very rarely people talk about mindsets, but mindsets is everything that will lead you to your success or lead you to the top in your career journey. If I were to talk about some mindsets, one is definitely being open minded, being open to feedback. We do get a lot of criticisms for our work. So, as much as we get appreciation, we get criticism as well.
Yeah.
So, rather than taking it personally on you, trying to learn from it, being okay with listening to that feedback, understanding that, okay, is there something that I can work on? So, that's one mindset that you need to have. Apart from that, let me also touch down upon politics being played in any
Yes,
workplace, right?
yes.
So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are in working in any company, definitely there will be politics.
Yeah.
So how to manage that? Basically, first thing is understanding that if somebody is trying to play games with you, understand that it has a lot to do with them and their reality and not you as a person. So when they are the background that they have come from, the kind of experiences in the past that they had to suffer, all that creates a lot of toxicity in those people that they take upon you. So being kind to them, understanding that, okay, there is something that is still unhealed in them, so it's not up to me to react back. Instead, what I need to do is understand, talk calmly with the person, tell that person, give the feedback to that person that, okay, this thing that you mentioned about me, I feel, what was your reasoning behind it? Okay, is there something that I need to understand more? So being very matured and patient while dealing with any sort of politics that you have to deal with, right? Any sort of ego that you have to deal with, whether it is your partner, whether it is your colleague, whoever it is. I think being matured enough and being patient enough to deal with that takes you a long way. And it doesn't come naturally, it doesn't come easily for somebody who begins a career, right? It takes time. It takes a lot of experiences where then you realize that, okay, in such and such scenario, maybe this is the reason why this person is reacting this way. So let me not react. Let me be understanding and matured enough. Give it time and then have an open discussion. So, yeah, mindsets, open mindedness, being open to feedback, being okay with critical feedback, and then, of course, risk taking ability. You need to be gritty. Perseverance, we talk about perseverance. So, that's the same as being gritty. No matter what happens, you will fail, you will fall down, but to get up again. And I know that this has been told by many people over many podcasts, and the moment you open any motivational talk show, you hear that it's okay to fail, you have to get up. But why, when it comes to reality, even though it is okay to fail, you have a lot of people around you questioning you. Okay, why did this happen? Why did it fail? You took the ownership, you took the responsibility, but still now you failed, right? That's the angle with which society looks at us, including our colleagues when we fail, right? But again, being okay with that, being that, okay, we will be questioned, but can we deal with it patiently? Can we request for another chance? Can we make people around us understand that there is a rationale behind why we took certain decisions the way we took them and what happened, right? So lot of experiences over many years is what will really teach you how to deal with such situations.
Okay, yeah, that was insightful. And the next question I wanted to ask you is that I know you have been asked this a lot of times, but still, for our audience, for the young woman out there who wanted to start a business and who's looking for opportunities like that and who wants to know more knowledge on that, to get more knowledge on that, I wanted to ask you, like, how was your journey? Like, what did you start first, and how was it quitting your Fortune 500 company, Saudi Aramco, and how was your journey like?
All right. Yes. Like you mentioned, it has been asked to me many times. So I think that was very early in my career when I quit that job and when I did not pursue the corporate job. Instead, I decided to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
My entrepreneurial journey started very simple, where I tested and piloted a small workshop with multiple schools in Saudi Arabia. And it was a non paid program initially that I did. Solving a problem, like I grew up in the Middle East, so I knew that I would never get the chance of having and being a participant in an inter-school competition, or I didn't get access to a lot of workshops like the Indian students got. So when I was in Aramco, I had access to a lot of good leaders from Aramco. And I was like, okay, can I bring these leaders who can speak and motivate students from different schools? And then the workshop started. Initially, it was non paid, but the demand for participating in that workshop rose so high over a period of 4 5 months that then I kept it as a paid program. Then I started generating a lot of revenue out of it because all the programs became highly successful, and both the people who were delivering the program enjoyed it, the participants enjoyed it, the parents as stakeholders were very happy. There began my entrepreneurship journey. And by the time I was making enough money and I also found happiness in doing something of my own. Seeing the results of it made me feel very happy. And having that autonomy made me realize that maybe I should not continue in a job. I should become an entrepreneur. So, what I did was, while I was at Aramco, I acquired a lot of skills. I got it. I really appreciate my learning opportunity there because there were high level leaders who used to do things differently. They were multinational people. So, I understood about diverse cultures and what it means to lead in a place where different people came from different backgrounds and different thought processes and different perspectives. So acquired all those skills and then jumped into entrepreneurship journey. From there on, there was no looking back.
So now, do you regret, like, even 1%? Do you have any regrets of being an entrepreneur, or do you think I should have not taken that step then? Something like that.
Okay. Very, very confidently, I can say that I do not regret even a bit because I don't think I am made for just a 9 to 5 job. Like, even if I take some part time assignments or consulting work or something, I always have my entrepreneurial journey at one side parallelly running because that's what gives me a lot of happiness, like, in um, trying to do things my way and get good results out of it. Now, entrepreneurship is not just about money, right? It's also, like many people say, it's about solving a problem that somebody has. So, once you solve a problem, what happens? You get the result of the problem solving efforts that you took. And the result, if it is positive, it brings in a lot of happiness rather than a monotonous 9 to 5 job where you do the same thing over and over again for years, right? Like, even to get promoted in a job, it takes some time, but you repeatedly do the same thing. But as an entrepreneur, you get to solve new challenges every day. You get to have partnerships with different kind of people, different kind of companies. The exposure and experience that you get, right, overall experience that you get is very much fruitful. It is very different, all inclusive, with lot of challenges but also a lot of learnings along the way. So I do not regret leaving Aramco.
Yeah. So now, do you have any tips for the young women out there who want to be someone like you? Like, as you are an inspiration, like, do you have any tips or something to say to them?
I think in today's generation, I should take tips from them rather than me giving tips, because uh, I see a lot of qualities in today's generation which I did not have back then in their age. And I can specify those qualities. I think they are a lot more, they exercise autonomy a lot. They're all mostly independent decision makers. Now, being an independent decision maker is a great quality to have for an entrepreneur to survive, right? You need to know that, okay, this is the decision I'm making, there is a rationale behind this decision, I'm going ahead with this. So you're not going people pleasing, asking everyone and doing. Yes, of course, there are certain situations where you need consensus with a lot of people. We have to respect that, but I'm talking generally, like, in life, are you a great decision maker? And then similarly, what I like about the new generation, again, I'm reversing your question, okay? Tips from me, but tips from on new age children that I feel they should continue doing is what I'm saying. They're also very creative.
Yeah.
They love exploring different ways of expressing their creative talents. I see that. And a lot of social media platforms have contributed in taking out the creativity from the new age students, I feel. So you have a lot of platforms where you can upload, where you can experiment, you can try, you can fail, but you can again try. So that way, keep up that creative spirit, because creativity is required in any sector, any field, any job, any entrepreneurial journey that you take. So that's one thing that you have to continue doing. And then, of course, like, weighing the pros and cons before taking a decision. I think that's also being done beautifully by the current generation. They are not, I don't think they are jumping into anything. They are very keenly observing the world around them. So that's a good trait to have. Be a great observer first, and then you get to learn, like, you see and understand, okay, what will work, what will not work in a particular situation. Now, what are don'ts as tips? I think we tend to get carried away a lot nowadays, like, we can put the blame on social media. We can put the blame on the n number of video games and so on and so forth that we have as distractions. So while it is healthy to have some element of fun in your life, learn to keep boundaries, like, understand where is the boundary of, your enjoyment and your hard work. So if you know that, if you can crack that, then you can be successful in a happy way. So that's one don't that I have. Now, particularly coming to women, if I were to give a tip, I think women's journey back then and today has been tough. There is no denying that fact. But what we have as a ray of hope is today there are a lot more supportive men around us, unlike earlier days. If you compare how men used to be early in terms of supporting a woman grow, today there's a huge change in that. I myself have come across a lot of supportive men helping to grow, to help women grow out there. So there are women who believe that I can do everything on my own. I will do this, I will do that, which is great. They can also, but there still are certain limitations for us. So understanding that, I may get some hate comments for this, but I think I have to just tell from my experience that supportive men around you help you grow faster than you would grow if you were on a journey just alone.
Yeah.
So understanding that and being cordial and not very defensive, I think will help you in the long run as a woman.
Okay. So starting your business journey, you might have made a lot of mistakes, like people do actually. So tell me something that you made and a lesson you learned from that. Like if you are going back time, something that you would want yourself to do, what would be that?
Oh my God, so many things because I keep making mistakes.
There might be a lot of things, but just tell me your one.
Sure. So, first of all, I believe that as a human being, you are bound to make mistakes, and it is okay to make mistakes. That's very human. So, I have also made a lot of mistakes, and there are times that you regret. But there are also times where you feel that, okay, so it was okay to make that mistake because you learned something really valuable out of that mistake. Unless and until you hadn't made that, you wouldn't have learned a lesson.
Yes.
So there are situations like that. I would like to talk about an overall lens, from an overall lens, not maybe exactly a mistake, but to your second part of the question that, if I were to go back in time and do things differently, what I would have done. Today I am into multiple sectors, doing business in multiple sectors and handling multiple portfolios. Now, that was majorly because I enjoy doing a lot of things. As I was growing up as a child, I was an all rounder, winning prizes for anything and everything, doing everything possible in my limits because I enjoyed doing everything. It was like that. I was made that way. I think that reflected in my career journey as well, where I kept on choosing projects like one after the other, irrespective of whether they all, belong to the same sector. And that's how today I'm a serial entrepreneur doing multiple businesses.
Yes.
But I would have done that differently if I were to go back in time, because today I suffer a lot from time management. Getting pro in one industry, although yes, education is something that I've cracked really well because consistently I have grown in the education sector. So that keeping apart, the other industries I've not found a lot of growth, majorly because one person cannot master everything, right? You then end up being jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
But luckily today I'm master of education, I can say that. So yeah, maybe I would have not put my feet into a lot of things.
Okay. So also, like as a woman, you have told me you are finding it difficult to manage time. So on that, since you are a serial entrepreneur, how do you manage, like even if it is family or life and work, how do you manage all the three together?
That's an area of struggle every day. But I'm proud that I'm not bad at it.
Yeah.
If not good, I'm not bad at it. So one thing is when you are aware that there are a lot of things on your plate, you kind of schedule everything. You make it a habit to plan everything, including your work responsibilities as well as home responsibilities. So one mindset that I failed to mention earlier when you asked about the question on what mindset that a woman needs, I think self-awareness, being aware of who you are, what you want to do in life, and how do you want to do it, right? That brings us back to planning our life. Planning our life is very important. If you plan your days ahead, in terms of your career as well as your responsibilities as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, etc., all those roles that you are supposed to be in, right? If you plan it well and take actions based on your plan, then I think to a certain extent you can do your thing. For example, I'm very aware that my daughter's school is going to begin on this date, and she has these important days in her life where she wants me to be with her. I'm aware that if my husband's family, for example, needs me for some function which is so valuable for them, I have to be there. So when I know that in advance, I make adjustments at work as well accordingly. So it's very important for somebody multitasking to plan and do their things. So I think that has made me go a long way.
Like you might have used a lot of strategies in your business and all. So tell me about some of the strategies that you have used for the people, for our audience, like which you want to share. Some strategies you used for your business which helped you scale up.
I think one recent strategy that I used is enhancing my personal brand, like what we are doing right now,
Yeah.
right? It's a part of that. I had underestimated the value of personal branding earlier. I think until 2 years back, my businesses used to do the traditional modes of advertising and promotions, etc. But now, what the audience wants to know is who is behind a brand. Then only the trust is built.
Yes.
Right? They want to know who is building something as a solution for them, because then there is credibility behind that brand. So last 2 years, what I have been doing in it is, especially in Kerala, I became a part of a lot of large scale conclaves and events where I went and spoke about my products and services. I became a figure where I could be a role model for a lot of aspiring women entrepreneurs. So in that case, now what is the result? Now there are a lot of people who reach out to me for various support and services and guidance. Like, some of them reach out to me for mentorship, some of them reach out to me for business services, and some of them reach out to me for career counseling, especially academic career counseling. Now all of these people are reaching out to me because I was seen and heard. And what did I do to be seen and heard? I took part in all of these events. I started speaking on camera. Like, although I appear to be very confident on camera, I'm not. So I went out of my comfort zone in doing videos and letting people know more about my thought processes, my perspectives on life and different things. And one thing that my cousins have been requesting me to do is a day in a life of an entrepreneur kind of a series.
That would be good.
Yeah,
I suggest you to do that.
You also suggest me to
Yeah.
do that, but then I tried doing it and it is so difficult, like, for example, I tried recording. Okay, now there was this meeting where I had to go and there were like a large group of people sitting, and I'm thinking, how do I record these people sitting and me doing something in this? It will be so awkward. How do I request these people that are you all comfortable being on camera? Because that's the life of an entrepreneur. You will have
Yeah.
different meeting with different stakeholders, you'll have team meetings, so how do you put your camera out there? Now that's something that I'm still learning. Probably
But
there's a solution.
you should consider doing it, because there might be a lot of people who want to know like how an entrepreneur's life looks like. So you should definitely do it.
Hopefully soon. Yes, I'll get out of my comfort zone to do that as well very soon.
Yeah, okay, inshallah. Initially, when you started this business, how did you manage the funding of your entrepreneur journey and your startup or your business? How did you manage that?
So remember, I used to work for a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
So I was paid heavily. And what I did was I collected that money as savings, and I then invested that money into my business. So completely bootstrapped from the beginning. And from the returns of my first business, I accumulated enough to invest in a second business where I was not the director there. I just invested in their business and I saw and learned how they grew. And from there it went on, right? So parallelly, I also took up a lot of freelance works and consulting works where I upgraded my skills, but at the same time I built a good network. I believe that, in fundraising, one thing that will work is your network. Right? Network is your network, because in your network will determine the way you speak, the way you present. You get to learn a lot from high quality people, right? From there, you also get to see and learn how do you fundraise. Because if you network with the right people, you can observe and you can learn from them that how are they raising funds? What is their strategy like? What are some quality deliverables that they give, right? It's not only about seeking for funds, but how well are you presenting your idea? How much of a product have you piloted and experimented and seen the results? That's what will speak for. So initially I bootstrapped, but later on I raised funds from my friends and family, to be honest. And later on, I think I also there are people who came and invested in me, like seeing
you built
my
that
growth.
trust.
Yes, I built that trust and I grew over a period of time. And there is evidence of growth, right? Only when you provide evidence of growth is when somebody will come and invest in you as a person.
Okay, there are a lot of people aspiring to become entrepreneurs today, keeping up at the days where we wanted to be engineers or doctors. Nobody wants that. Everyone wants to become an entrepreneur, right? So what is the first step? First step one should do as a decision making while starting their business or even a startup? Like, what do you suggest?
I would suggest that where are you getting the training from? Who is going to train you on becoming an entrepreneur matters a lot. It could be somebody from your family who's a successful entrepreneur. It could be a friend who's a successful entrepreneur. But let's also remember that all these people are busy in their own lives. It is not their primary duty or responsibility to train you or mentor you or guide you, right? They out of courtesy, they may do it for you. So then your next best or important decision becomes, where do you study entrepreneurship from? And that is why, I'm a part of TIIB today.
Yeah.
TIIB is the Innovation Institute of Business. So it's a business school, and we believe that we have to provide the right kind of training and advice and guidance, a practical experience in terms of doing business for aspiring entrepreneurs. You are very right. Today, I think most of them are aspiring entrepreneurs because
Yes.
everybody wants autonomy in everybody wants to be an independent decision maker. Everybody wants to do their own thing, and they have a lot of self confidence, right? Because they come up with brilliant ideas, they come up with brilliant business plans and execution plans. You just need the right guidance, and that right guidance you will get only when you are associated with the right kind of institution who will provide you the guidance. Now, TIIB becomes different in the sense that it is built by a set of founders who are doing a lot of businesses, right? So there's years of accumulated number of years of experience that will also be shared in your classroom when you come to study. So yeah, whether you choose TIIB or whether you choose any other institution, do a good check on who is running the institution, what are the course content there, how much of a practical exercise happens in the academy or in the business school or in the university. That becomes your primary, most important decision making.
Okay, so since we are summarizing this podcast episode, to be honest, it was very insightful. And as a woman, as a person who is into a lot of industry and likes working, and it was very insightful for me as well. And I hope it would be for our audience as well. So thank you. Thank you for giving us a lot of advices and sharing your life and your journey, everything. So if you have anything left to say to our audiences, you may please do now.
Thank you, Shafna. It is wonderful to see that, so many people like you are being entrepreneurial. Like being entrepreneurial doesn't mean that you have to start an entrepreneurship journey as such, but just taking action, taking responsibility for doing new things. That's what I see in you as a person.
Thank you.
So good luck in your journey as well, Shafna. And thank you once again for having me here.
So that's it about today's episode of the RARO podcast. So a big thanks to Dr. Nazreen Midilaj for joining us for this conversation and making this insightful. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to follow for more conversations with exciting entrepreneurs right here in the UAE. See you soon.